Hello everybody, welcome to Catherine Sews and to my March sewing vlog. I know it's the middle of the month, but the beginning of the month has been a little bit busy and crazy, but really fun. I started the month doing what I said I was going to do, sewing that velvet dress. And I wanted to make it for the Frocktails event in Victoria, which was about a week ago. So I was working on that and I had high hopes. And when I mentioned it in my last vlog, I mentioned that I was working on this velvet dress. You know what? A viewer in my hometown, Windsor, Ontario, her name's Julia Burgess, and she decided that I needed to have a needleboard for that project. And so she sent me her needleboard. That just blew my mind. That was so sweet. I've never had one. I've never worked with velvet. And she was like, you got to have a needleboard. And so let me send you mine. So she did. So I do want to thank Julia Burgess in Windsor, Ontario. So nice. And I will eventually do that velvet dress. I ended up putting it aside because I didn't want to rush it. I had about 2 days left and I'd been working on the muslin and then I was working on the lining, trying to get that right. It just wasn't, the pleats that I was trying to do just was not coming together. So I have a plan on how I'm going to be able to do that nicely and kind of break down the pattern drafting. So it's a bit more clear to me what's going on in each step, and also a nicer video for you where you can kind of see what each change I make to the pattern, what effect that has on the bodice. So that was nothing to be rushed. So I put that dress aside, but I will get to it and I will end up using that needleboard. So that left me with 2 days to get ready for Frocktails. So I looked in my to-do closet with all the things I had thrifted and I found the craziest dress that I had just thrifted the previous week when I got together with some of the ladies from my online membership, from my school membership, and also from some of the trips. Like there's just this little growing community of us online and in real life. And so when I went thrifting with them, I bought like the craziest dress. So you might have already seen that video. And so I left myself 2 days to change my mind and do that dress instead. And so in that video, you probably saw me like having a little fit. I thought it was such a disaster. And you might still think it is kind of a disaster, but I ended up loving wearing it. I felt just great in it. It's super easy to wear. I wore it with my stomping around boots and it's super comfortable and easy. And I thought it was kind of cool, especially with my new leather jacket that I'm going to be showing, or maybe I don't know which video will come out first, but I'll show you a new leather jacket I got from Quince. It's so nice. So with this, it worked out well. But the velvet dress is actually going to happen in a little while. So I had to kind of hurry through that dress because I had to get on a ferry. I was going to the island to see my friend Judi for a few days before driving down to Victoria for Frocktails. And so I spent 3 days at Judi's, and you might have seen Judi in a couple of videos in the past, and we always just have creative adventures together. We always have so much fun. And so while I was there, I made her 2 dresses. So one of the dresses is the video that probably comes out just a couple of days before this vlog comes out. You'll probably see that dress first. And then also while I was there, I upcycled a dress for her, which we didn't film. It was just sort of spur of the moment, and we upcycled this dress for her. And it was one that she had bought while on holiday, and she kind of liked this navy eyelet skirt, but it had a navy kind of tank top to the dress, and she just did not like that part at all. But she had this big roll of white batiste fabric. She held that up underneath the eyelet of the skirt. It looked really, really pretty with the white under it. It had been lined in a navy batiste. So we said, why don't we take that lining, make a new little bodice, line everything in the white, and Bob's your uncle. And she loved it. She was jumping for joy. It really did look cute on her. So you can see her here, and it just looked so much more like her. We didn't even take any before pictures because, as I say, we weren't making a video of it, but it did turn out really, really cute. So then I got back home, back into my sewing studio, and decided to do some tweaks of some t-shirts. So I ended up doing a whole video on that. There's about 5 or 6 different t-shirt tweaks that I did. And one of them, though kind of the motivator for me, came from that same thrifting day with the ladies in Vancouver, where I had been looking for more things to wear with those pants that I mashed up. They were kind of like an ecru and tobacco color mashed together. And as much as I love those pants, I really didn't have much to go with them. So when we were thrifting, I found this very sheer top that had this printed front, like a digital print. And it looked to me like the Amalfi Coast. It just looked so beautiful. And I thought that those colors could work really, really well. But I'm not going to wear a totally sheer top. So brought it home, cut a panel, sewed it to a plain ivory t-shirt, and that's one of the t-shirt tweaks. So I love this now, and I love it with those pants. That's kind of an easy fix of embellishing a t-shirt in a way that brings in colors that you want to bring in, and it wasn't very, very tricky. That video will be coming out probably the week after Judy's linen dress video comes out. So then, while I was discussing my sewing plans with Judi, I showed her those blazers that I showed in the last vlog. There was the gray blazer and then this red one, right? And I was saying that the gray blazer was kind of too good, right? I didn't want to cut it up. It was nice. Somebody could wear it for a job interview. And Judi was like, well, Catherine, you can have nice things too, right? And I was like, I guess. I had said, well, I'll redonate the gray blazer and I'll do my project idea on this red one. And she said, why would you do that why would you go to all that work on a jacket you don't really like? And so I was still in a quandary until that same thrifting day. I tell you, we did so well on this $5 rack at a store called My Sister's Closet in Vancouver. On that $5 rack, I'm not even joking, this suit. And this is actually a man's suit. It buttons up left over right, and it's got this pinstripe to it. It's got pants to it too, which are really short. It's a size 38 short, this whole suit. But I think that's going to be way better for my project. So I did give that nice quality gray blazer. I gave that to a friend of mine who was thrilled to have it. She's just going to roll up the sleeves and wear it with jeans. And this one is what I'm going to do with that denim mashup project that I was inspired on Pinterest. So same day of thrifting, I tell you, I bought so much that day. I got a pair of Levi's, and you know I love my vintage Levi's, but these are like a real barrel shape, which I don't love. It does not look good on me, but they're nice condition and that nice light blue denim. I'm going to be able to mash the denim pieces onto that jacket. I've got extra fabric from the pants if I need it, and I think that's going to be really fabulous. I'm really excited for that one. I also did get a denim jacket in that same light blue denim, so I'm not even sure yet what pieces I'll incorporate into it, but that is the plan. So I think that worked out just as well as it could possibly have, because somebody else got the nice gray blazer. She's really happy. And I got, I think, an even nicer one. So I'm getting the one that I think is actually really perfect for this project. So that worked out really, really well. And then while I was at Judy's and we were kind of side by side creating, with me working on her dresses and she was working on a couple projects that she loves. She's really creative, but she doesn't feel like she's a very good sewer or sewist. And so I'm happy to do dresses and things like that for her, but I'll show you some of the things she does. Like this owl, and incredible. She's really, really talented. So she was working on her owl while I was doing the dresses. And one thing she said to me was, when you iron, you do things with it that I don't understand. Like, she wanted me to explain to her what I was doing with the iron and how I was able to get the iron to help me make things look better. And she was like, it's magic. And I'm like, no, it's not magic. It's just heat, steam, and pressure. That really is all it is. And so she suggested that I do a video about ironing. So at first I thought that was a funny idea, but then I realized, yeah, we could probably generate a list of tips. And so I started just asking her, like, what else do you want to know about ironing? Like, what else do I do that you didn't understand why I'm doing it? Anyway, so I filmed, as soon as I got home from her place, I filmed a video about, I don't know, 15 or 16 tips with using your iron. So I think that actually will hopefully be a good one too. Hopefully it's helpful for people, especially the beginners amongst us, because stuff like that, it's hard to learn. Like, wherever do you learn that? those are the videos that are coming up. I think those are going to be really, really nice. And I'm really trying to maintain the integrity of my YouTube channel as I'm, got other irons in the fire too right now, as you know. So I'm very happy and excited that on YouTube, I'm just coming up to 150,000 subscribers. Maybe by the time this video is out, I'll be at that 150,000. So that's amazing. I love and appreciate that so much. And then in my community on Skool, we are over 400 members now and from all over the world. Like the map of our Skool community, I just love looking at that. And people are having meetups in different places all around the world. And there was a group that went to I can't pronounce this word, I'm so sorry, Puyallup in Washington. There was a sewing expo there, the one near Seattle. And so a bunch of people went there and met up in real life for the first time. And that was really, really cool. And so there's another sewing expo happening. Oh, I can't even remember. There's another sewing expo happening somewhere else in the States. I can't remember where, but there's a group talking about maybe meeting up there. I just love that. I just love the whole concept of like people coming together over our shared passions and our shared values and our shared excitement. So that's really cool. If you are thinking of joining the membership, remember now there is that free tier. You can come in for free, get to know everybody. And that's also where I'm hosting courses. So the beginner's course is up there. It's going well. I think it's going well. And I'm excited to start seeing some results from the people in the course. I'm just excited about that. And then the next course that I want to put out, hopefully in maybe 6 weeks, is all about serging, like getting the most out of your serger. So let me know if that is of interest to you. And yeah, pop in some questions if you want to in the comments, like things that you've wondered about with you. Because you know what? I hear all the time people saying, I bought a serger 20 years ago and it sat in the box in my garage and they've never even opened it. And I'm telling you, that serger is going to make your life so much easier. So yeah, if you have questions or things that you were curious about with your serger, or if you're wondering about getting one, pop those questions in the comments and that'll help me as I'm forming this course. If you are thinking about getting one, two things. One is, first of all, try getting one secondhand because a lot of people bought sergers and then stuck them in their garage and they've never touched them. So it's actually not that hard to find a good serger secondhand. And if that doesn't work for you and you want to get a new one, then you can check out my link to Quality Sewing in Seattle. They ship anywhere though, and they're great. They carry my favorite serger, which is the Baby Lock Imagine or Victory. That's what I had in my classroom, and it's a beautiful serger. But they've got loads of different sergers that are all good. So that link is always in my description as well. And then the last little update is all about the trip. So the London trip is good to go. We've got 11 participants on there. I'm so excited to meet them all. One of them has been on all my trips already. So shout out to Lindy. I'm so pleased that she's able to come on this trip as well. And then 10 new people that I haven't met yet. So I'm excited about that. That's coming up really, really fast in May. And then the registration for the Japan trip. Yeah, Japan. We're going to Japan in October. The registration for that will be open pretty soon. Erica, our travel designer, is working hard on that one. She's just tweaking the itinerary a little bit. She and I worked on that a lot. And so that registration will be open pretty soon. And of course, I always give 48 hours head start to the people on Skool. So I'll announce it there first. And then after I've given them just a little bit of a head start as a perk for being in my membership, then I'll put it out on YouTube. So ponder that. That is in October. And that's going to be a super cool trip because, everybody in my sewing community, we're all excited about sashiko stitching. I've fiddled around with shibori dyeing. There's just so many cool things in Japan for textiles historically and currently, right? That's I'm so excited about that. So that is the whole update. Phew, that's a lot going on, right? Anyway, I hope you are doing really, really well, and I hope you're having some really fun and creative times. I hope you're experimenting and being bold and fearless as you tackle some good upcycling projects. I love hearing your comments. I get people saying all the time that they're becoming bolder and more willing to experiment and try things that they've never tried. So that's fantastic. That just absolutely makes my day. So thank you so much for being one of my 150,000 subscribers. I just can't even believe that. That's just amazing. And so thank you for spending this time with me today. And until next time on Catherine Sews, you take care.